How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Today I wanted to talk about 5 goal setting mistakes that people make. I'm all about getting rid of the alcohol, as you know, pushing yourself forwards, looking forwards instead of backwards. And I think the most realistic way of pushing yourself forwards and aiming towards something better is by setting goals. Now, there's a lot of mistakes that people make when they're setting goals. The first one is that they're unrealistic. You've got to set goals. You've got to set high goals. Otherwise, what's the point? You've got to set a time frame on those goals as well. But you have to sort of look at it and think, well, is the goal realistic? First of all, am I going to achieve this? To become a professional footballer, for instance, for me, would be impossible, right? I'm over 50 and it's just too late in my lifetime for that, right? Same thing if I wanted to become any real professional sports player, just not realistic, right? Same thing if I wanted to become an astronaut or stuff like that. It's just unrealistic for me, so you're sort of wasting your time to do that. Time frame as well is a thing to look at, whether or not you can possibly achieve the goal in that time frame. If you have a goal to get fit and one of your long-term goals is to run a marathon, then you can't set your marathon date 4 weeks out if you're not used to running. It's just an unrealistic aim, and you're likely not to achieve it, right? Another one of the mistakes that I see is that people focus their long-term goals on too few areas. I'm all for taking a goal and focusing your immediate time on achieving something within that goal. Like if your goal is to run a marathon, to focus your mind on practicing every day, until you run the marathon, right? Then once you've done it, you're out there, all done. But in the long term, there are so many aspects to a person's life. There are relationships, your hobbies and interests, your career, your spirituality, finances, happiness and joy, your family, your husband or wife, your children. These are all areas where you should have long-term goals, and you should focus some energy and time on trying to achieve those goals. Another area is that people just don't welcome failure. They see failure as something bad in their lives, something wrong. It's not actually wrong. Everybody fails. Everybody fails. It builds character. If you've got the courage to keep failing and moving forwards and keep failing and moving forwards, and learning by your mistakes, then you're going to have a good life, and eventually your long-term goals will come into fruition, right? You'll achieve what you wanted to achieve because you accept the failure. It's not nice to accept failure, it's not pleasant to admit that you failed in something, but the only true failure is if you stop trying. That's the only true failure. If you keep going on and you keep pushing on, then you never fail. Another mistake, number 4, is that people tend to focus on other people's goals. And what I mean by that is, sometimes some people are forced into taking on goals by other people in their lives. Now, it might be friends or family members. It could be your boss. Now, obviously it depends on context. It depends on whether these things are happening and you have to do them. Like if your boss says to you, well, like the company is focusing on this long-term goal and you're a part of that long-term goal, then obviously you've got to focus on that, right? But your goals should be your goals, and anyone else, if they've got an opinion about it, they've got an opinion about it, but it doesn't have to be your opinion, right? Your goals, in order for you to fulfill them and to put your mind and effort into doing these things have got to be of your making. Otherwise, where's the incentive? Where's the motivation? Where's the determination when times get tough, right? I'm not saying that these things won't be there, but at the end of the day, you're far more likely to push harder for goals that originate within your mind, right? And number 5 is that people focus a lot on negative goals, right? Negative goals are quit drinking alcohol, quit smoking, lose weight, right? They're all negative goals. Instead, you're much better off focusing your attention on what comes after, on what you want to achieve. So in quitting drinking alcohol, as I've always said, you're much better off facing towards the future and looking towards something that you want to achieve in your life, something that is mutually exclusive to alcohol, right? You can't do both of them together. You can't achieve this great goal in your life if you're drinking, because drinking just distracts too much from your life. Same if you want to lose weight, your goal should be to get healthy. Your goal, long-term goals should be to eat a better diet, to get out there and exercise, run, whatever you want to do, right? But if you focus on that, on the positive instead of the negative, you're going to achieve far more success, because it's very difficult to track quitting drinking, quitting doing something. It's a very finite thing, right? You stop doing it, right, and then what? It's just I think it's emotionally ugly. It's a very unattractive thing to do, right? So there are 5 of the most common mistakes. Unrealistic goals, choosing too few goals, not welcoming failure, they're not your goals, and they are negative goals, right? So ask yourself whether you're making any of these mistakes within your goals, right? Are you creating goals for other people? Are you being unrealistic in the time frame of your goals or the goal itself? Do you want to be a professional footballer but you're way too old to do it, right? That kind of thing. Are you looking at your goals from a negative point of view instead of a positive point of view? That's it for today. If you have any questions, I'm going to stop filming now and put my hands in my pockets. I'm freezing. If you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments. Come on over to the website and sign up for the Alcohol Mastery newsletter. It comes out once every day, and you get a free video into your inbox. Until next time, I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself, keep the alcohol out of your mouth, and see you soon. Onwards and upwards. Take care. Bye.